Hey, what is going on, everybody? So in today's video, we are in part 5 of our Mercedes Benz exhaust build, and this episode is going to be about Y pipes and how I build them. So I have this template here, and pretty much what you do is you put it over, the exhaust pipe, a straight pipe, and then you trace this outline, and then you're supposed to cut it with like a die grinder, by hand. I didn't like that idea of using, a hand die grinder to cut the pipe. So I threw it in the bandsaw. And you can see there I kind of angled the fence a little bit and made the cut. And then now I'm making another cut. And pretty much that's the process that I used to make the Y pipes. It's a little unconventional, I would say, mainly because it's just so hard to keep such a short piece of pipe in the jaws or the vise of the bandsaw. And so what I, kind of had to do was just add like some extra metal and props and keep it together and, stuff like that. So you can see here, this was probably the hardest part of the cut because I had to like let the blade catch and everything like that. Plus I was on a dull blade. So that just added to, the lengthiness of the cut and everything. But everything came out okay. Everything came out great. So it was all in all, it was a success to make these Y pipes. Now, do I like this method? It's something new. So it's a new journey. It's a new path, but I do like the ease of it, of just tracing out a line on some pipe and then cutting it. Very easy. So you can see they come out very nice, and by tracing it, with using a template, you get very even cuts. So I do like that. All right. So now what we're going to do is I got to like hold it as tight as I can and keep it as like, I'm trying to match everything up perfectly. And then I'm going to tack it together. And so that's kind of the tricky part because I can't really throw this in a vise, So I'm holding it as hard as, as tight as I can with my hands. And then I'm going to tack it together. I'm going to try to make a little tack without blowing a hole through the metal. So there's a lot going on, a lot that I have to focus and manage all at once. But you can see there, I got that tack in, so that's good. And now the metal is, now it's held together somewhat, and I can lay it down flat and then get the other side. So it's important that, I got that first tack in well and quick. So you can see right there, I'm just letting that post flow go, and we're looking good. We're looking really good. All right, so here's what the Y pipe looks like. So it's probably not like your traditional Y pipe. And I would say all the Y pipes that I've made, this one, is kind of like more like that stealth, like airplane fighter jet look versus like the smooth rounded edges look. So you can see there, I'm flipping over the Y pipe each time I weld. And that's to keep the metal cool so that, it doesn't warp and distort and everything like that. Because with stainless, once it starts to like heat soak, then, you just got to walk away from it and let it cool down and then come back and weld it. So, that's one trick you can use to getting nice, good color in your stainless welds and protecting the stainless as well. It's not just about fancy colors, but it's also about protecting the properties of the stainless from overheating. So keep that in mind. Now you can see there, both sides are welded, and now we just got to do this top section. And this top section it's a little delicate. It's probably the trickiest part of making these Y pipes. And remember, I think I said in part 1 or 2 of this series on when I was showing you how I built the X pipe, and I said the X pipe is the hardest build in this exhaust system, and then I said the Y pipes come in second. And so these are the Y pipes that I'm talking about, and it's this section right here that I would say can get pretty difficult. Now, is that to say that they're extremely difficult? No, but just if I'm going to kind of categorize it, then the Y pipes do come in second. And, if you're thinking, well, what about the V bands? Do the V bands count? And the V bands, I feel like, are pretty easy if you just have good technique, and I think the hardest part about the V bands is just making sure they don't warp. And once again, if you have good technique, they're not. Whereas the Y pipe, you have to cut it with the die grinder if you're going to go by hand or in the bandsaw. And, that takes a little kind of practice and, manipulation of just situating the parts and stuff. So that's why I give second place to the level of difficulty for the Y pipes. And you can see there, this is just, I'm getting into the side part. And look, if you look at the Y pipes, off to the left by the vise there and the one I'm welding, they have that fighter jet look, and these aren't even finished. I still have to add the top pipes to the Y and the bottom. So everything has like really nice sharp angles. So let me know what you think in the comments about that. Do you like the sharp angles on an exhaust system, or do you like the more rounded, U-style Y pipe for an exhaust? And the U-style is what I originally went with. That was the first generation Y pipe that I used. And then the second generation I used was like the boxy style, where I created this box. And the whole principle and idea, the philosophy behind the box was that it was to create a very nice and unique sound. And so the way I designed the box, the sound waves would go through the box, bounce back, and then bounce out of the exhaust system. And then that would create this nice sound. And so now this is the third generation of Y pipes that I'm making. And this, what it's going to do, because sounds are waves, and it's going to go through the X pipe and then come back into the solid pipe. And then those waves are going to split again when it hits the Y pipe and create a unique sound. So let me know when you purchase this exhaust how you like the sound, and or just what's your philosophy on sound design and sound engineering. For all you sound engineers out there, leave a comment down in the comments and let me know what you think about different sounds and everything like that, and how they're created in an exhaust system. Okay, so we're motoring right along with this Y pipe build and everything like that. And it's almost possible maybe to create some sort of X pipe by just connecting these two Y pipes together, right? I mean, if you think about it, but we won't do that. We're just going to keep these Y pipes dedicated to Y pipes. Also, if you're interested in just purchasing the Y pipes, let me know in the comments below, and I can just make some Y pipes for you, or I can just cut them and you can weld them, or I can weld them. However you want it done, let me know in the comments, and I can get those shipped out for you. All right, so you can see right there, we are welding the other side. And so there you can see we're pretty much done and everything looks good. We just have that little piece left, but you can see there's the solar flux doing its job, which is great. It's a great addition, especially something like this where, it might be hard to plug and, you just want to use solar flux and still get that same amount of back purging protection. So that's where solar flux really shines. All right, so now we're just going to finish up that last little bit, and everything will be nice and finished and complete, and we'll have our first Y pipe complete. And so you can see, look at the coloring of the welds. There's not like, too many dark spots, no graying at all, mostly silver. So that's really good. Kept the heat low and everything like that. So this is the second one. I just went on and finished the second one off camera and everything like that. But everything looks really good. and the Y pipes are complete. And so now all I'm going to have to do is just add the metal tubing to the top part and to the bottom. And then that I will save when I'm ready to install the chrome tips and then the extension tube at the bottom to add to the remainder of the exhaust, so that I can level everything out and get it nice and even the way that I want for the final build, the final outcome. But thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure. You can see right there that they came out beautiful and everything is great. So once again, it's been a pleasure on this exhaust build. Just now you have an idea of what it's like to build a GarageDynamics exhaust system for the Mercedes Benz S Class. So once again, thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see everybody in the next video.